Hey guys, it's Mike from Baltimore Rides. It is Wednesday morning, but it's really my wrap-up video for Tuesday, December 5th. Boy, was it a rough one, guys. I talked to you guys the other day before I took Monday off about planning out the rest of your December. So I know I'm not going to be on the road Saturday, this coming Saturday, because my daughter has something for dance, kind of a performance leading up to the Nutcracker. They're actually doing some excerpts from her Nutcracker ballet at a dance venue, like a kind of like a evening Christmas party thing that this organization holds, and they picked our dance studio to do that. So she's, of course, dancing this Saturday on top of rehearsals, and it's going to be a crazy Saturday. So I'm probably going to be off most of that day because I'm going to watch my son while my daughter's doing all this girly girl stuff. So that being said, and this is where my point is going, I know that if I'm not working in DC on Saturday, I'm more than likely going to basically not make a quest that weekend, which means two things. And bear with me, guys, I'm on 83 in Baltimore and it's really bumpy at the beginning. It means two things. It means, one, I'm not going to get the $200+ that I would normally get on a Saturday. Two, it means I'm not going to get the $190, give or take, that I'm going to make on a Sunday. So to make it round numbers, I'm $400 in the hole already. So if I want to make $1,000, $1,100, and I don't have my Saturday to do it, I have to make it in every other day I can. That means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. But Friday and Sunday I can't make a quest. So I really have to do $200 a night. Bottom line. And that was the math I had planned in my head going into tonight. However, of course, it's a sleepy Tuesday and it's 2:30 in the morning and I've just basically got to $150. Did about $35 with Lyft and $115 with Uber. And so, Tuesdays are slow. I started around 2:30. It was almost 3 o'clock. Let's call it 3 o'clock by the time I got to DC or Silver Spring. And honestly, guys, to give you an idea how my night went, normally when I get to like Fairland, Silver Spring, that whole area right where 29 starts to become traffic lights, I start getting rides. I didn't get a ride until I got all the way into the city. So I basically went all the way down Georgia Ave into the city before I got a ride request. So it was just a really, really slow Tuesday. Not a lot of dead time per se, but a lot of little rides. I didn't get a single big ride out of the night. And basically I'd do a short ride, I'd go just about 5 minutes, I'd do another short ride, 5 minutes. I think I did 15 Uber trips and like 5 Lyft trips. So 20 trip night, but with no big trips in there, no boost, no surge, none of that stuff. They were basically all minimum fares. Now the good news is my Monday through Thursday quest is 30 trips for 80 more bucks. So that's an $80 that I didn't have before that I can kind of count into that pool. But the weather's supposed to be kind of spotty at best this week. There's really not a lot going on. I know it's going to be a road to climb. So, that's kind of where we are. And, some nights it just goes soft like that. It goes, you don't get a lot of activity. I didn't get any big rides out of the night. I stayed mostly in the suburbs because I was getting longer trips out of that. I was getting, $6, $7, $8 trips out of that. But I kept getting pulled down towards the city, or I'd get pulled out into the middle of nowhere, like southeast, Hyattsville, those areas where it just became dead, and then I had to turn around and start driving back towards Silver Spring, Georgia Ave to get a ride again. So just a tough night. At about midnight, DC basically was asleep. So I headed north to BWI. BWI was asleep, but I got a ride towards Baltimore. And I did a couple little trips in Baltimore, just, the last hour and a half-ish for, to kind of get me to the 115 range, because I was at like $90 with Uber. So, it helped, but it was just a slow night. So, I couldn't get to Reagan. I kept making my way towards Reagan, but I wasn't turning my apps off. That would have been counterintuitive. So, it was a tricky one. I don't know what I want to do tomorrow. I obviously want to stay in DC because I need to finish up that quest. I don't expect there to be a lot of activity in Baltimore on a Wednesday, so at least if I finish my quest on Wednesday, then there's the possibility that I can do Thirsty Thursday in Towson. I've done really well on bar nights in Towson, and I feel like there's a chance for some activity at this Thursday because there's no finals going on. It's supposed to be kind of cold weather, but they like to party on Thursdays up there. So, that's a thought, is to finish the quest tomorrow, get my 15 or 16 trips I need tomorrow, finish my DC quest for the week, and then spend Thursday in Baltimore and Towson. But I don't know how that's going to go either. We'll see. So, tricky week. Very tricky week. My next 2 weekends are basically shot. The following weekend is actually my daughter's performance, and so I'll probably lose 2 days there. I probably will end up doing some long day driving like I did Friday, Saturday, where I just get a few hours of sleep and then I go right back out on the road. But, if I have to grind, which is really what it looks like I might have to do, then I will grind. So today I didn't plan on doing that because my plan was a little bit different in my head, and so I got the sleep that I needed. My body was still telling me it was tired, but I'm going to have to basically go into exhaustion mode for the next few days and just grind. And that's kind of how this goes, guys. I was telling somebody the other night that, this is not really an hourly wage job. It's the best analogy I can think of is the fishing industry. I used to be a big fan of the show Deadliest Catch on TV a long, long time ago when, in its early seasons. And, what they do is very much like what we do. They go out on the boat and they don't come back till they catch their quota. And obviously for them that could be weeks at sea, but for us it's a little bit different. It's more like hours. But, we go out and we don't really go home until the job is done. And for a lot of us, that means we've made our quota. We've made the goal we set for that night. Now, I'm not going to lie, would I love to stay out for another 3-4 hours? I would. But as you can see, I'm yawning my head off. I don't have the energy to. And my stomach is really not up for a cup of coffee on an empty stomach. I ate a bagel today and some yogurt that didn't agree with me. So really, I need to get some rest. I need to get home. I need to put some calories in my stomach. And I need to get a good 4 hours of sleep. I'll get my kids up for school. I'll get them to school, and then depending on how my body feels at that point, I'll probably just go to work at that point, and get a jump start on my day. It might be the only solution I have is to just put in the long hours this week, and if I can't do it in big numbers on a weekend, then I can do it through attrition, and I can just grind the hell out of the week. So this is going to be a tough couple weeks for me, guys. I'm warning you guys in advance. For those of us that are out on the road doing this full time, we don't have another career to fall back on. This is a tricky time of year for most of us because the holiday season changes everything. The cold weather starts setting in. The weather itself changes everything. And, we just have to adapt. And then, like I said, you have to plan for all your family stuff, and that's the beauty of this job, is that as much as it's frustrating, as much as I'm going to have to do some crazy stuff this week to make the money that I basically make to pay my bills, I can write my work schedule around my life schedule. And a lot of people do it the opposite. When you're working a job and you have a boss to answer to and a schedule to answer to, you kind of write your personal life around your work schedule. I at least have the luxury of the opposite. I can find a way to make my work schedule fit around my personal life. And that's a wonderful thing. Is it sometimes painful? Yeah. Do I stress myself out a little bit? Yeah, that's possible too. But I make it work, and that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do in this industry. You have to make it work. You have to adapt, and sometimes it's about putting in the hours. Sometimes it's about thinking smart. I had contemplated doing an airport day this week, but I don't know. Part of me is just worried about that. That's a crapshoot. You can have a $200 day at the airport, or you can have a $100 day at the airport. And you don't have a lot of control either way. So, my thinking is, if I finish my DC Quest tomorrow, I do a Thirsty Thursday. Thursday's a party night in Towson and Baltimore, so I can probably have a $200 night staying local. Friday in DC, obviously shooting for as much money as I can possibly make. If I can do a $300 long day in DC like I did last Friday, and then whatever I can get on a Sunday. So my Sunday's probably going to be short as well, because I think my daughter has some dance stuff on Sunday. So I might end up, just doing a half day on Sunday and even just making $100 on Sunday. So I'm really trying to do this in 4 days if I can. Make as much money as I can in 4 days. So it's going to be a grind, guys. I know it's going to be ugly. I know I'm going to be tired, but that's what you got to do sometimes. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get home and get some sleep. And I'll be back out on the road probably earlier than normal tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know how it turns out. Later. Bye-bye.